What's good with YouTube? Y'all already know. Big Vlog with Accomplished Perspective. Y'all already know what time it is, coming directly from the Pico County Jail. But check it out. I'm still going to smash, dash, and slide on through with a whole lot of energy. So please hit the like, subscribe, comment. Do all those things that help support this channel. And hit that bell notification for future fire content. Hey, guys. I come across a lot of interesting cases and situations. And, I think back to when I was first going to the county jail as a youngster. And even when I was older. And you're always told about be careful who you discuss your teams with. You even get those ones that get so paranoid thinking that, there could be undercover cops in here. And you see people's paranoia in here sometimes, believe it or not, Some of it's justified, some of it's not. Some of it does occur. You do encounter individuals that become jailhouse informants. I've never ever, though, experienced one to where we're going to discuss right now, where it's actually police officers go into the county jail as inmates and as actually gang members. And this is about Pico, Viejo, okay, a gang in Southern California, as you already know, a couple of well-known people from that area. And the individual is David Hernandez versus Montgomery, if you want to go there. Even the what he filed in his motions is kind of interesting. If you guys want to go through all the legal jargon, look up the case. Here we go. Background, though. The Pico Viejo gang has approximately 174 documented members, 28 of whom are active. Now, it doesn't mean that the rest of these guys are bad. It just means that they're not in bad standings. They're not actively in the mix. They're not pushing to assist any criminal activity, but they're still documented gang members. Some may be dropped out, some may be not. Right on was involved within the gang's territory. The gang's primary activities are attempted murders, violent assaults, robberies, burglaries, identity theft, possession of guns and weapons, and the sales of drugs. Petitioner is an admitted member of the Pico Viejo gang and is known by the moniker Bossy or Boxer. Isaac Galindo, who goes by the moniker Smiley, is in the same gang. He is a shot caller, a veteran gang member who makes decisions for the gang. A person may be marked for death or a hit if a gang believes he or she is snitching or complaining about drugs or crime. Ricardo Giragui and Jose Vargas are longtime patrons of Wagon Wheel. They are friends with a woman named Joanne Marie Lieres. In the beginning of July 2013, Giragui complained to Vargas about people using drugs at the Wagon Wheel. So that's natural, guys. And people go. There's a time when there's a little Frank's in Milpitas. There's a little bar that a lot of homeless used to go to. And one time, some individuals from Mas Locals went there, and they brought in their own 12-pack or 24-pack. And the bartender snatched it up because it's disrespectful to the bar. And they kind of made an issue about it. And then the homeboys from Midbus, from BMN and BMLs and other supporters, they ended up getting off on the couch of Mas Local in the bar. All I'm saying is it was in our territory, so you know how that goes. You know what I mean? So it's understanding to have people who are longtime patrons, right? Feel affected when people go in there and they start using drugs or they start doing things because they didn't go in there for years. And it's a place of business, and a lot of bars are kind of used for undercover drug dealers, as we know. A lot of people sell coke and stuff like that because people go there, they get a little drunk, and they want something different. That's just common. Now, let's go into more details about this case. The attempted murder. On July 17, 2013, a man with a hoodie approached Giragui, who was sitting at the Wagon Wheel bar counter, and struck him his head 8 times with a hammer. Petitioner was arrested for the crime. Interesting. That's kind of a little, that's brutal. That's brutal. I wonder if there's more details to that because you know what? That could be the heat of the moment crime. There could have been a complaint about right then, and maybe something else happening. Maybe you never know. There's a lot. That to me right there doesn't sound like anything that may be premeditated or whatnot. Because if you're going to really want to try to take someone out, you're probably going to plan it out. And just think it from a criminal standpoint, guys. You're not going to do it like this. Usually, in most bar situations, heat of the moments where fights happen, those are the times when people who usually traditionally use weapons, they may throw their fist. You know what I'm saying? That's typical. And then sometimes some people grab a weapon and it just goes on from there. Now, petitioner's conversations with undercover officers. This is the juicy part, guys. In August 2013, Anthony Castro and Dylan Navarro were deputies of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department assigned to an undercover duty in the custody division. Dressed like gang members, they were placed in the jail cell where Petitioner was being held. Jail cell, that's what you guys always got to remember right there, man. You never know who they may put you in. You never know if they have cameras or if they have any. They do have cameras nowadays in every jails. You don't know if they have recording devices or what nowadays. But they will put undercovers in there, and that's what you did here. Early on, Castro told Petitioner that jail officials could not listen to their conversation when the water's working. Petitioner said, "Oh yeah." In response, Castro said, "Yeah, it's against our rights for them to listen to us if we're using the restroom or anything. So if they shut the water off, that means they're listening in the cell." He said, "If the water was running, you're good to go." So is this your first one? You don't have no money in the neighborhood for a lawyer? So this individual's pretty much fucking, man, this is how corrupt they can be, right? And how manipulative law enforcement can be. They're falsifying information, and telling them, like, hey, if the water shut off, this and that, they can listen to try to gain some type of relationship with this individual to open up. And this is how the conversation goes. Listen to this, guys. No, I have family. They'll put up a house or something. How much does your lawyer cost? Well, ours is paid through our kitty. Like our guy runs that. We don't have anything to do with it. Even for a hot one, yeah. What's his name? The lawyer? Booker. He's a black dude. His name's Booker. He's a black dude, but he works for out of I think Rancho out there that way. But I mean, you got to pay him. Look, if your neighborhood gets money, there's a lot of good ones out there though, and and then try to get a black one. Like it just looks better. Oh man, they got me here for attempted murder. That's what they told you? Yeah, if the school told me right now that I'm being charged for attempted murder. Like one of my other homies told me to go to a bar and hit somebody in the head with a hammer. And they got the hammer and they got me on video. Castro asked if there was anybody else in the neighborhood there. Petitioner explained, yeah, it's a gang bar. We all kick it there. I was there, but I just left. He said there was a video that placed him somewhere else. Castro warned Petitioner to be careful with that because when you start using that alibi, there's a lot of people, and they got to do is catch you on the one camera somewhere that puts you there, and then they know you're lying. So that's kind of interesting because you know what? You shouldn't be. These officers are not in a position to if they're going to be falsifying and upholding the law, they shouldn't be giving anybody any type of legal legal advice, even posing as undercover inmates. I'm kind of shocked that these officers went down this line. Now here we go. Let's go a little bit further with this now. This continues. I left. I was at my house. I left the bar and went somewhere else. I was at home where they got me. They said they found the hammer, but he did not believe it. Navarro asked if Petitioner's DNA was on the hammer. Castro interjected, the DNA is no joke, bro. Petitioner explained that he should be good, but said he was stressed out about attempted murder. Also, he said the police wanted him to snitch or give them someone. Oh, wow. Continue on, Petitioner said the police mentioned my other homeboy right there, and then mentioned a lot of information that they shouldn't have had. This prompted Navarro to say, little homie snitching, that's what's going on right there. Castro told Petitioner that he needed to get in touch with his family and that he needed a lawyer. Later, Castro said, look, man, if you were there and the camera put you there, then there's nothing you can do. Petitioner said, no, I was there. Explaining further, he said he left 10 to 20 minutes before the accident and went to the homegirl's pad in a motel. Castro kept warning Petitioner about lying and saying he was not there because the police could use video and prove otherwise. So this guy is trying to entice him to admit, right? He's saying that he was there, but he left before the incident. And this cop is trying to coerce him to think different. They're trying to get a different response. And that's how tricky these detectives can be. And this is one thing that they don't tell you. They can lie to you. They don't have to tell you the truth. They're allowed to sit there and tell you lies to try to get information to get the right answers from you. So, and they will falsify information, they will falsify paperwork, they will do anything, believe it or not, if they really want you. Okay? And a lot of times they'll do that to get you to flip on other people. Now they talked about DNA. According to Petitioner, the police told him there was DNA on the hammer. Castro thought they could be holding it, and Petitioner replied, well, he said he was going to talk to me again, and he's going to show me everything. After a few more exchanges, Castro said, your homie did you dirty. So playing that homie against each other, Petitioner asked how long Castro and Navarro were fighting the murder. Castro said 6 months, and Navarro said 10 months. Castro explained that got him on something about like the evidence, but they didn't process it right, so that's how I beat mine. Was the same lawyer? Castro said, yeah, same lawyer. Once again, the petitioner asked for the lawyer's name, and Castro said it was Douglas Booker. As to whether Booker was expensive, Castro said he's a little up there, but I mean, he does a job right, you know? The petitioner proceeded to talk about how the police did not have a case and to say there was no video camera. Navarro suggested maybe cell phones would be a problem. The petitioner said the cell phones, maybe we're going to find out later on today. Officers escorted Castro away from the cell. Referring to Booker, petitioner said to Navarro, I can't say your name, but you recommended me to him. Navarro gave him permission and said he would get the number when they went to the county jail. Officer, and see, this is what I would be fucking tripping off. These guys are talking about how they just beat their case 6 months ago and whatnot. Then what are they doing in the holding tank? And I think they're probably taking advantage of someone who maybe is not as informative or understanding of how the law works. And that's the thing too, man. They will pry on individuals who don't know any better, you know, and try to coerce, you know, and try to minimize your Miranda rights, which is the right to remain silent. Now, officers returned Castro to the cell, and they all said, hey, what did they say? The following conversation proceeded thusly. We need a lawyer. Need to get a lawyer. Navarro, we need to get a lawyer because that other fool we kept on talking. Walked by, they had a picture on the table, and they were just like, this fool's done because he's smart. We got this fool. Yeah, they had a picture on. What the hell? They had a picture of the hammer? I just saw it real quick. Yeah, but I could hear they were talking, laughing it up. So yeah. And they said they got some people they had somebody talk to that meant someone snitching, and they have witnesses. So they had a picture in there. They had a picture of the hammer. This is the informant eventually left and came back, and he's telling the petitioner, right, that they have a camera that he heard them talking to somebody snitching. Right? This is how fucking dirty law enforcement can play. A mail officer came in at that time. I just spoke to homeboy, got the last piece of the puzzle. I got all I need to know. I don't need to talk to you anymore, brother. We go to court on this Wednesday. You said you were going to pull me out, but I don't need it anymore. We got you dead. Dead to rights. All right. Like we talked about earlier, you know what we talked about? What did we talk about? The attempted murder charge. I don't need you no more. The mail officer said, wow. So they played him big time. So this continues, guys. After the mail officer left, Castro and Navarro continued talking. Castro said the police had petitioner on video. They had the hammer and the snitch, and they had a witness. Then Castro said, I'm telling you, homie, it sounds like your homeboy was setting you up for a fall. Petitioner asked the Castro, and so what I'm thinking they're trying to do is they're trying to get who put the green light on this. Well, who else was involved? Castro replied, I could recommend him, but he's not going to do anything for free. On the heels of that, Castro told petitioner, don't go with a public defender. Petitioner explained that his plan was to hire an attorney so he could see everything was, and then to fire his attorney, and then to represent himself. He wanted to explain that he had represented himself in connection with a fire case. There, Castro suggested if petitioner hired Booker, he might advise petitioner to take a deal. Castro asked what kind of deal petitioner would be willing to take. He said he would take 10 years. Navarro was escorted out of the cell. When he returned, he indicated that he spoke to his brother on the phone and that his brother had called Booker. Navarro responded that Booker said he would visit them in the county jail that day or the next. The three men proceeded to talk about a variety of topics such as selling drugs. Eventually, Castro told petitioner, you can make some money, man, if we get out. Hey, you know what, fool? Hey, man, if you get me, I'll plug you in and everything, fool. He said he could come up with 5,000. This prompted Castro to say they like to work with people that they can trust. He said that sounds like you need to get out to make more money for us to make more money because we don't know the rest of your homies in your neighborhood. The following exchanges, this continues, guys. And you see, these cops are going in deep. They're not just trying to get this one case, they're trying to get as much information as you can. And that's why, like I said, you know, regardless of what life you want, whether it's a righteous one or whatnot, you really can't just trust people you just meet. You never know what their true intentions are, man. And a lot of people allow themselves to be read or expose themselves like an open book. Now, here's the following exchange. Right now, we don't even know we can trust who we can trust. And so you're the one we know right now. We might be able to help you. It seems like there are witnesses that put you there, and that's a big deal. Do you know anyone that can take care of those witnesses? No. They have to be farmed out from our neighborhood, though. Yeah, look, I know. 1,000 for the hit. That's the way it went down because you had a mask? Yeah, and the hammer is at my homegirl's boy's pad right now. The hammer's at your homeboy's pad. Yeah, fool, that's what I was saying. Like, how do you know? The only thing is probably a camera, fool. That's the only thing. But what about the witnesses? They don't know it was me. What about the homies? Someone's probably saying something. And we're all talking over. But they won't know, like, it's for sure me. But then how would the camera know it's you? That's true, too. Was it like, I mean, if they got you on camera, how covered were you? Good, man, like my hoodie. You had a hoodie on, too? And you're sure they didn't have anything of that stuff? Nothing. You got rid of all of it. I burned everything. You burned everything? Oh, that's good. So pretty much now these guys have gained his trust, and he's pretty much exposed himself into law enforcement hands, and pretty much, you know, it's hard to beat, guys. You know, these type of cases, I mean, all you can do is try to file a motion to suppress the evidence and suppress this and try to say that this was coercion and whatnot. He could sit there and say that he was just trying to be cool, you know, trying to fit in because these guys were gangsters. There's a lot of stuff because sometimes in those jail pits when you first get locked up, people tell lies. I mean, I was in a drunk tank one time, and this dude told me he was fucking NF one time, and I was like a kid, and I was like, this dude ain't no fucking NF member. I mean, years later, I think at the time I thought maybe, wow, he got all the tattoos, but years later, I knew the difference. So, you know, there's a lot of loopholes. Even though these cops got valid information, there's a lot of loopholes to attack. You get what I'm saying? Anyways, look, man, I don't want to disrespect. This is Castro, one of the officers. I don't want to disrespect anybody in your neighborhood, all right? You said your homeboy has a hammer. It was left at his house. Who is your homeboy, and do you trust him? You use it too much, man. Yeah, it's already burned. Oh, you burned the hammer too? Yeah, all that stuff. Sure you saw the hammer burn? I was right there. I'm the one. You're the one that set it on fire? Then why do you think they have it? Exactly. All right, it ends right there. They continue to talk about crime, and Castle said there was a snitch. And let's just get carried. I guarantee you could try to put me on the roster of the lawyer. These dudes pretty much implied everything, like they were some high-stake drug dealers. They've been working with Anaheim, with one of the big homies. And they really fucking played this dude out of pocket the whole time, man. And, you know, afterwards, he tried to suppress evidence. He tried to exclude petitioner's jailhouse statements. And I get it, man. There was really no evidence to this case, and these guys got so comfortable and had so much information that eventually they started to expose information. Now, there's some other people who testified. I'll just talk about that briefly, and then we'll end this. Lyra's testified she arrived at the wagon at 3:30. She bought a beer and went to the bathroom. As she exited, she encountered a shirtless young man who pumped up and had a large Pico tattoo on his stomach. He said, What? You want some of this? She told him to get out of the way. Later, Lyra saw the same man drinking beer with 3 young women. Smiley came out and told the shirtless man, hey, what are you doing? Put your shirt on. Lydia Gonzalez, a bartender at the Wagon Wheel, started at 5 p.m. She saw Petitioner was smiling. Petitioner told Gonzalez he had gotten a job. Later that evening, Gonzalez saw Petitioner sitting in the Wagon Wheel back patio. Petitioner sometimes came in to buy beer. Around 8:30, Lyris was sitting on the bar stool with Vargas to her left and Jared Cooley to her right. Out of the window, she could see a man wearing a hoodie. Based on the height and build, she thought it was the same person she had encountered after leaving the bathroom, right before the attack on Jared Cooley. Lyris noticed Smiley by the back door and another gay member by the front door. Lyris described Jared Cooley as a 5'7", maybe 140 pounds, wearing a hood to cover his face. At trial, Lyris identified the shirtless man and the man with the hoodie she saw at the window as Petitioner. Wow. Interesting. A lot of information in this one, guys. And you know what, man? You know, it's kind of unfortunate because usually in bar situations in neighborhoods, right, usually the hoods are supposed to stop violence. They're supposed to protect people. They're supposed to minimize drug activity. I mean, that's what I've always noticed, you know, because there's always been, you know, bar hangouts. People from like Horseshoe used to always hang out at the place, and even some other old VLs from the West Side would hang out there. Then you had the place over there, what was it, Fat Cats on the East Side. Then you had the Green Parrot. You had different bars where different homeboys would associate from different hoods, and it was just like hood bars. And you couldn't go in there and just disrespect. Most of the time, the Vados would always protect the neighborhoods. Nowadays, man, it seems like the assailants in these neighborhoods that are from these gangs are the ones that are taking out vendors, right? That are fucking out over there extorting individuals, that are going in bars and they're acting like a surf bar, and they're failing to recognize that the old ways of what a barrio was established for was to protect the neighborhood. Nowadays, people are becoming menaces to the neighborhoods. And with that said, your boy Flacco from ACP, I'm out.